mercy me, oh mercy mine. Down on my knees, I got my arms stretched to the sky. Trouble to the left of me, sorrow to the right. Can you hear me, Lord, and can you lead me to the light? I lift my voice, I call your name, as I toil down in this valley of strife and pain.
Well, when I pulled in here, there was a rabbit here, and he kind of ran, didn't know where to go, got all spooked off, and then took off again. All right, so you guys are probably going to wonder why I haven't been out hunting and doing much. I have been doing a bit of hunting, just to prove my point. I'll put another one in that one. So there, you got your hunting fix from me for this week. But I wanted to share something with you guys out here tonight. But I got a new stove for coming in, doing little boil ups here and there when I'm out ice fishing and stuff like that. Perfect little setup in my opinion. And I'm gonna compare it to my Jetboil. And I've been using the Jetboil for years, but there's a problem with Jetboil when you live in cold climates, because it's isobutane, I believe it's like -15 or something like that. It renders absolutely useless. After the freezing point, it progressively gets worse and worse and worse. And as you're using it, the canister itself cools down because of the expansion of gas. Then it starts to become less and less efficient. Don't get me wrong, Jetboils are great. There's a lot of cheaper versions of it and everything else. This is the actual brand name Jetboil. There's other ones you can get, you know, it's just, you put the pot on top. The nice thing about Jetboil, and really what sets them apart from all the other ones, really isn't even the jet. It's the fins on the cups that they create. It creates a little more thermal conduction and heats up the water a lot quicker. But the problem with Jetboil, as I mentioned, is the isobutane. And just so you guys know, there is fluid in it, listen. So this thing's like over 3/4 full. By the way, right now it's like -13 degrees Celsius. Here's the conversion for you Americans. I'll open this up. That's not enough to really do anything. Now, mind you, what I've done in the past to use my Jetboil in the wintertime, I get those sticky toe warmers and I stick them on the bottom of the canister when I head out, and it keeps the canister warm, so then I can boil up a bit of coffee or tea or something like that if I'm on the run. So just show you a comparison, here's another one that I have that's full. This one's actually never been used. And this particular one, I had indoors warmed up quite well, and it was next to a warm bottle of water that I have, so that's how it should be going. That's why it's called a Jetboil. And the longer I'm out here and the more I'm using this, as the gas expands, it's going to cool down and eventually it becomes useless. So what have I done to counteract that? Is I got this little stove. Let me open it up and show you guys what's inside. Keep in mind, I looked online. I seen a lot of people had these, and I modified mine so I didn't have to experience the bad part of the reviews that this thing had. I'll explain that as we go through it. The weight-wise, compared to the Jetboil, is not that much more. This is just over 2 pounds, and I believe the Jetboil is just under 2 pounds. That's just the base that I made, so I can lay it on the snow, so the legs of this little stove doesn't go down to the snow. Open it up. We have this goes in the bottom. That's just your ash catcher. I said ash. And this is part of the modifications that I recommend for this type of stove, and I'll show you why in a second. And this is the grill that goes on top of it. When you open it up, that piece falls down. See how the grate is down there? So the reason, that's what this here is for. That goes in there so that the little twigs and smaller things that I can use, especially with the tinder getting the fire going, the grate that comes with it is a little too big, so I just put that on top, and that'll just hold the tinder and everything and the wood a little better. Take this little ash catcher. That just slides in, oh, wrong side. It just slides in underneath through that little slot right there. You can pull these little handles up right here, and your little cooking grate can go on top like that. And you can see there's a little door that opens up on the front, so you can keep loading in the sticks and that in this side without having to remove the grating on top. The pros of the Jetboil is if the weather's good enough, it does boil water quick. The cons of the Jetboil, specifically the Jetboil brand, you need to buy the adapter for it. I do have the adapter, but you have to buy the adapter so you can actually, so you can use a pan on top and cook food up. But the main con of the Jetboil is temperature range. Getting down into these type of temperatures, it just doesn't perform, and that's the biggest concern I have with the Jetboil when I'm out doing these type of things. The other concern is which is not a huge concern because it lasts a nice while, but fuel. I wouldn't necessarily call it a con, but because isobutane is pretty easy to come by, most gas stations sell it and stuff like that, but it ain't as plentiful as wood when you're in the woods. So that's where this little wood stove comes in handy. So really, the cons of the Jetboil, and in the winter time here in northern Canada, it kind of renders it somewhat useless for me. There's many different versions of this stove on Amazon. There's many different sellers. There's kind of like a mass factory, makes a whole bunch of them, sells them out to different companies. They put their own titles on it and sends it off, and you purchase it from them. But they're all pretty much the same. You like my earmuffs? Sexy, huh? I can't believe he used the silky saw as a hammer. I need to get a new one anyways. Christmas is coming. So I'm going to let that burn down there now. When the flames get low enough, I'll put the grate on top. Then I'll be able to start feeding in some wood through the front end. And then we'll boil up some water, have a cup of tea and something to eat. Now, obviously one downside is this takes substantially a lot longer than the Jetboil. Unless it's cold and the Jetboil don't work at all. But there's nothing wrong with taking your time, boys, and enjoying a fire. Oh yeah, it's boiling nice there now. As you can see, it burns pretty efficient too. There's not much smoke at all coming off of it. Good marshmallow. Goodness. Oh, she catches on fire so easy. These are cheap marshmallows. You must have some percentage of gasoline in them or something because they take off real quick. Had some marshmallows, cup of tea, and a seafood salad sandwich. Oh, that's so good. Thank you, Lord, for this food. Man, that's so good. It's just imitated crab meat with some onion, cayenne pepper, mayonnaise, black pepper, and then a bit of salt. I should have brought more bread. I got enough here for another one. Ugh. So I'm going to let this stove cool off. And I'm going to show you one more feature about this stove that I found out today that's really cool. This is not the feature I was talking about, but I just realized because it's just a few hot coals down there and it's just giving off a nice bit of heat, I can use it to actually dry my gloves out a little bit. Oh yeah, they're drying out nice. But I'm really impressed in how efficient it burns. Like, doesn't seem to be any residue or any kind of pitch or anything left in it. It's all burned off. Now I'm going to show you what I figured out about this thing today. That's absolutely, I think is great. But if you remember my last video where I showed you how to make a toilet paper roll alcohol heater, I'll stick it at the end of this video if you guys want to see it. It fits perfectly down inside this here stove. And there's just enough room I can elevate my cup over that and boil the water. So say if I'm going to be out in the middle of a lake or something like that doing some ice fishing, and I know there's probably not going to be much wood around, and I don't want to carry wood in with me, I can just bring this little alcohol stove and a bottle of alcohol or something like that, and use that. If you guys like this, you can subscribe, but be aware that I do hunt and I do eat animals on this channel. I know a lot of people subscribe and then they get angry with me because they go and see me, kill a bird or a rabbit or a bear and eat it. But yeah, if you're into just outdoor stuff, go ahead and subscribe if you like. And I'll do my best to bring adventures to you guys. I appreciate you guys all watching. And I will see you guys on the next one. Take care. God bless.